Have you ever wondered how the human body fights off diseases, or how we can harness this power to develop advanced therapies? Well, the answer lies in the fascinating world of antibodies. These tiny warriors of our immune system are the frontline defenders against harmful invaders. Now, imagine if we could create a special type of these antibodies that are identical and target a specific cell or protein. Sounds intriguing, right? That's precisely what monoclonal antibodies are. Born in a lab, these antibodies are cloned from a single parent cell, giving them an exceptional ability to bind to a specific target. This unique property makes them incredibly valuable in research, diagnostics, and therapy. From identifying unique cell types to diagnosing diseases and even fighting cancer, monoclonal antibodies are revolutionizing the field of biomedicine. Now that we have a basic understanding of monoclonal antibodies, let's delve deeper into their uses. First off, monoclonal antibodies play an essential role in identifying phenotypic markers unique to certain cell types. This is a foundation of modern cell classification, particularly for lymphocytes and other leukocytes. These antibodies, with their laser-like precision, help us define clusters of differentiation or CD markers for various cell types. What's fascinating about these CD markers is their versatility. They act like an identity card, revealing the unique characteristics of each cell. This goes beyond just distinguishing cell types. It's akin to understanding the language of cells, decoding their individual behaviors and functions. Imagine a world where each cell carries a name badge, providing a snapshot of its identity. That's what monoclonal antibodies help us achieve. They allow us to mark out unique patterns, to identify cells that could be ordinary citizens or potential troublemakers in the body. With these markers, we can classify different cell types, a crucial step in many health-related investigations. This is how monoclonal antibodies serve as a powerful tool in our scientific and medical toolkit. Moving on, monoclonal antibodies are instrumental in diagnosing numerous infectious and systemic diseases. They come into play when we need to detect specific antigens or antibodies in our body. This detection process, often administered via immunoassays, is crucial in confirming or ruling out the presence of a disease. Consider it like this: our body is like an intricate puzzle, and monoclonal antibodies are the special tools that help us find the missing or misplaced pieces. They scour our blood, urine, or tissues, seeking out the telltale signs of disease, the antigens or antibodies that shouldn't be there. They're like diligent detectives, tirelessly hunting for clues. When they latch onto these specific markers, it signals to us that something is amiss. Monoclonal antibodies thus act as our body's internal whistleblowers, alerting us to the presence of diseases. So these antibodies are not just useful in understanding our body better, but also in identifying what's wrong when we fall sick. Now let's talk about something that affects millions worldwide: cancer. Monoclonal antibodies, with their remarkable specificity, offer us a powerful tool in our fight against this disease. They allow us to identify and target tumors with unprecedented precision, opening up new possibilities for therapy and treatment. One of the ways monoclonal antibodies are used in cancer treatment is through tumor identification. By applying antibodies that are labeled and specific for certain cell proteins, we can determine the tissue source of tumors. This is done by staining histological tumor sections, which then reveal the presence and location of the tumor cells. But the role of monoclonal antibodies goes beyond just identification. They're also used in various therapies to treat cancer directly. Let's delve into some examples. Firstly, we have antibodies against the cytokine tumor necrosis factor, also known as TNF. This is a potent inflammatory mediator, and by targeting it, we can treat rheumatoid arthritis and other inflammatory diseases that often accompany cancer. Then there are antibodies against CD20, a protein found on the surface of immune B cells. These antibodies are used in the treatment of B-cell leukemia and for depleting B cells in certain autoimmune disorders. We also use antibodies against epidermal growth factor receptors. These receptors are often overexpressed in cancer cells, and by targeting them with these antibodies, we can inhibit the growth and division of the cancer cells. Last but not least, we have antibodies against vascular endothelial growth factor. This is a cytokine that promotes angiogenesis, the formation of new blood vessels. By blocking this factor, we can starve the tumor of the nutrients it needs to grow, and these are just a few examples. The field of monoclonal antibody therapy is vast and still growing, with new targets and therapies being discovered and developed all the time. Through these therapies, monoclonal antibodies are transforming the way we fight cancer and other diseases. They represent a beacon of hope in our ongoing battle against cancer, offering more effective treatments and the promise of improved patient outcomes. Finally, monoclonal antibodies are invaluable tools in biological research and functional analysis. They are like the detectives of the microscopic world, helping us unlock the secrets of cells and molecules. You see, these antibodies have an exceptional ability to bind to specific cell surface molecules. This allows them to either stimulate or inhibit particular cellular functions. They're like keys, fitting into the locks of these surface molecules and turning them on or off. This ability is a crucial tool for defining the functions of these surface molecules, including the receptors for antigens. Let's take a moment to appreciate this. Antigens, those foreign substances that our bodies often fight against, have receptors. These receptors are like docking stations, and when an antigen docks, it can trigger all sorts of responses in the body. By understanding these receptors, we can better understand how our bodies interact with everything from a common cold virus to a cancer cell. Now, imagine a bustling city with millions of people. This is what a sample of blood or tissue looks like under a microscope. It's filled with different types of cells, each with their own unique properties and functions. But what if we want to study just one type of cell? This is where monoclonal antibodies come into play. These antibodies have the unique ability to bind to specific cell types, allowing us to separate or purify these cells from complex mixtures. This is like being able to pick out all the red-haired people in that bustling city. With these selected cell populations, researchers can delve deeper into studying the properties and functions of these cells. So, from diagnosis to treatment and from classification to research, monoclonal antibodies are truly a revolutionary tool in the realm of health science. It's fascinating how a single type of molecule has such diverse and powerful applications, isn't it? From identifying unique cell markers, diagnosing diseases, and even fighting tumors, the uses of monoclonal antibodies are certainly widespread. That's all for today. Remember, even the smallest components of our body can have the biggest impacts on our health. Stay curious and keep exploring.